I'm your host, Jasmine Knight. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, subscribe so you don't miss a single thing. Smash that like button and share so the video gets pushed out to others. Remember, we can make a difference, but we must speak up. Now, on with the show.
What's your suggestion? That's your question. Okay, you talking to me, not a dumb Negro or pork chop eater, don't know the truth. I'm free now. I woke up. Now, what are you going to tell me now? I done gave you my solution, some land of my own, doing something for myself like you, England, and America do. Now, I know you're not against the black man. I know you're not against me having my land, are you? I know you English done ruled and slaved forever for a long time. But do you still today don't want me to have my own country and build for myself and govern myself? Would you think that's bad if we thought like that? What's your solution to my problem? 1974, then you all just, some white man just flew from New York to England in an hour, less than 2 hours. You all are so progressive. You're walking around on other planets. Now, today, I'm intelligent too now. What's your suggestion? What should be my movement? Integrate?
Yeah, equal rights in a mixed society.
In this society, where you still own the government, you still own the train station, the railroad plant, the lecture plant, these television cameras, you still make all the food, you control everything, and I'm like a leech on a dog's back. All I can do is just wait for you. I can't do nothing for myself. Integrating in your society don't mean I'm doing nothing for myself. You doing it all. I want to do something for myself. I'm tired of depending on you. You might get broke one day. Your stores might close. Your gas pumps might cut off again. I'm relying on you now. Can I have my own land and country?
Well, you've got your own freedom here. For instance, I know you're luckier than many black people in America, but you're your own boss.
I'm speaking for my nation. See,
I know, I appreciate that.
If I was representing just me, I wouldn't be talking like this, because I got it made. I'm talking for my brothers who's out there.
But I just don't see how, Mohammed, I don't see how you can slice up America into bits and get all the whites in one area and all the blacks in another.
Then we leave then. We leave.
But they'd miss you.
I know it.
Ain't no East Coast, West Coast beef.
I swear. We ain't coming to talk about nothing behind us. We come to talk about what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
We here to make a difference, you know what I'm saying? So we want y'all to stay in school and keep y'all heads in y'all books.
No doubt. Knowledge is power, y'all.
Because, you know, we're the future, so it's on us to make a change.
That's great. Look, I'd like to thank Snoop and Puff for stopping by and dropping this knowledge on you all. All right, now, any questions?
Most notably, Andre Harrell, legendary music producer and Diddy's mentor, was also referenced. Harrell passed away in 2020 due to heart complications, but records show he often signed music contracts on Diddy's behalf, contracts with questionable clauses. One FBI source noted Harrell repeatedly took financial and legal responsibility, allowing Diddy to maintain a clean public image. That's likely why he was known as the man who took the fall in a very calculated way. Given all these developments, Diddy was detained at Terminal Island Federal Prison in California, a high-security facility. For the first 4 weeks, he denied all charges. However, after the FBI presented a recording in which his voice could be heard ordering to cut the tape and send out the warning message, his stance began to shift. According to a source inside the interrogation room, on June 2nd, 1925, Diddy formally offered to fully cooperate with the federal investigation, even if it implicated friends in the industry. That marked a pivotal turning point in the case. Immediately after that session, the name Eddie Murphy surfaced in the internal investigation list. Diddy's full testimony hasn't been released, but a leaked segment aired on CNN included this statement: Murphy didn't just know he was part of the Shield. I can't say everything, but there were parties where Eddie co-hosted, especially in Miami in 2018. That statement marked the moment the case shifted from a personal takedown to a mission to expose an entire shadow empire embedded deep within the entertainment world, where Diddy was merely the tip of the iceberg. 2. Diddy names Eddie Murphy. After nearly a month of total silence in the face of mounting accusations, Diddy has abruptly shifted course. Sources close to the investigation say he has begun to cooperate, partly to save himself, partly to secure a special condition transfer to a segregated block, away from inmates who might threaten his life. Yet the real shock is not the deal itself, but the first name Diddy offered in his testimony, Eddie Murphy. This is no obscure figure. Eddie is a beloved face, an icon of comedy and cinema for 4 decades. No one imagined he could be tied to the alleged...
He was told to arrive at a house in Bel Air at 2:13 a.m. He said that was when real decisions get made. Johnson showed up and was the only one there for over an hour, until a group of silent guests arrived in black suits, and no conversation was allowed. It was like a cult waiting for their leader. When Diddy entered, he allegedly turned down the lights and played audio through hidden speakers. It was Diddy's voice on loop asking, "Are you worthy? Are you ready? Would you eat what I feed you?" I thought it was art, Dwayne told the court. Some twisted, creative, motivational thing. I kept telling myself, it's just showbiz. These guys are eccentric. But deep down, I felt my gut screaming, something is wrong. Then came the first test. Diddy asked Dwayne to meet him alone at an undisclosed location outside LA. I wanted to say no, but my publicist said, "This could be the meeting that changes your life." Dwayne looked straight at the jury. Turns out, he was right. It changed everything. Just not how I thought. The moment Dwayne Johnson uttered the words, "monkey brains," the courtroom's energy shifted from stunned to horrified. He took a long pause before speaking. "This is the part I've never said out loud. Not to my wife, not to my friends, not even to my therapist." He described being driven blindfolded to a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I asked the driver where we were. He didn't answer. He just turned up the music. When they arrived, he was escorted by 2 men into a dark, candlelit room where the walls were draped in black cloth. The only light came from floor-level lanterns glowing red. Seated around a low table were 5 men in suits, all silent. And at the head of the table, Diddy, laughing, calm, holding a crystal goblet filled with something Dwayne said looked like oil. Then came the tray. It was brought out by a man in a white robe. They didn't announce it, just placed it in front of me and uncovered it. It was a steel plate. On it were pieces of raw monkey brain, still steaming, no seasoning, just tissue, wet, trembling. Dwayne looked down, voice breaking. Diddy said, "Everyone who's made it ate. Everyone who didn't, vanished." Then he told the men to look at me, said, "Let him feel the pressure." He said he tried to walk out, but the door was locked. I asked if this was a prank, a ritual. I even tried laughing, but no one laughed with me. Then Diddy handed him a spoon. He leaned in close and said, "Hollywood is not about talent, it's about obedience." At this point, Dwayne began to cry on the stand. I was scared. I was humiliated. And I was alone. With shaking hands, he lifted the spoon to his mouth and bit down. I don't remember the taste. I just remember the sound, the room laughing, the chewing, and then silence. He sat at that table for 30 minutes while they watched him finish the ritual. When it was over, Diddy reportedly stood up and clapped. "Welcome to level 2, he said. Dwayne looked at the jury again. I walked out of there feeling like a part of me had died. Not because of what I ate, but because of what I gave up to eat it. The courtroom was silent, because this wasn't just a story of abuse. It was a man revealing how far people are pushed when silence is the price of success. Dwayne Johnson's voice became steadier as he explained what came after the disturbing ritual. He described what he now recognized as psychological conditioning, meant not just to humiliate him, but to strip away his autonomy and reconstruct him into someone dependent on the approval of those in control. they started treating me differently. Not better. Just like I was one of them now. But at the same time, they needed to test that I'd stay quiet, that I'd obey. He recalled being invited to what he thought was a business retreat in a secluded desert estate. But when he arrived, he found no agents, no studio executives, only a handful of other entertainers, some early in their careers, some already prominent, all seemingly uncomfortable. Dwayne said they were placed in isolated rooms with no windows. Phones were taken. Music blared on a loop for hours. The only food came at unpredictable...
Just calculating the odds that Donald Trump actually is a time traveler. And they say he pulled it off with the help of Nikola Tesla. Hey, someone get this nut job off the internet already. Listen, I'm about to spit a series of pure facts, as I usually do, that support this insane theory. Feel free to fact check any of these and make your own independent decision on what you think. Nikola Tesla was an imaginative inventor in the early 1900s with a keen interest in time travel. That's a fact. According to reports, in 1895, he made a shocking discovery suggesting, not confirming, that time and space could be influenced by magnetic fields, after which he's quoted as saying he could see the past, present, and future all at the same time. When Tesla passed away in 1943, the FBI and Office of Alien Properties seized his research and handed it to a team for study, among whom was John G. Trump, Donald Trump's uncle and a well-respected electrical engineer at MIT. This all actually happened. John G. Trump claimed Tesla's documents did not include new sound workable principles or methods for realizing any results, which may be trying to downplay what Tesla's work was truly capable of. In 1952, after a U.S. court declared Sava Kasanovich, Nikola Tesla's nephew, the rightful heir to his uncle's estate, Tesla's files and other materials were sent to Serbia, where the nephew lived, and they now reside at the Nikola Tesla Museum. But while the FBI originally recorded some 80 trunks of documents among Tesla's work, only 60 trunks arrived in Serbia. Maybe they packed the 80 into 60, but there is the possibility that someone kept the missing documents. So, John G. Trump receives 80 trunks of Tesla's confiscated documents, some of which have never been shown to the public, and only 60 are returned. Keep this story in mind because we barely even grazed a tip. Now, a lawyer and writer named Ingersoll Lockwood lived in New York City around the same time that Tesla did, in the late 18 to early 1900s. In the 1890s, Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, which just so happens to share the same name as Donald Trump's son. The book is about an aristocrat boy named Baron who lives in Trump Castle, who gets bored of his life of luxury and decides to go on an adventure. Baron comes into possession of a 15th century manuscript titled A World Within a World, written by a man named Don, who sort of acts as a spiritual mentor throughout the story. Through this manuscript, he travels to Russia to find a portal that leads him into the Hollow Earth and go on a time travel adventure. A pretty standard work of fiction, but an awful lot of coincidences in there if you ask me. Then in 1896, Lockwood writes another book called 1900, or The Last President, in which an unlikely wealthy candidate becomes president of the United States. In the book, no one thought this person would win, so riots break out in New York City claiming, and I quote, "The Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob." Trump Tower happens to be on Fifth Avenue in New York City. In The Last President, the president also announces a Secretary of Agriculture named Pence, the same name as Trump's past vice president. Then, when he runs again in 1900, an uproar arises and the Capitol is struck by dynamite and destroyed. A fiasco in the Capitol building following an uproar from a presidential election. Where have we seen that before? The official synopsis of the book claims it laments or mourns the Democrat Party's socialist platform of 1896. Hey, I ain't touching that one. And finally, a quote near the end of the book reads, "As the dawn broke cold and gray, and its first dim light fell upon that shattered dome," referring to the Capitol building, "relaxed, glorious even in its ruins, a single human eye filled a gleam of devilish joy, looked up at it long and steadily." A single human eye? gleam of devilish joy? What exactly are they talking about here? In a book written over 120 years ago, almost like it knew what was gonna happen in the future, during a time which Tesla was toying with time travel, whose documents were seized by the uncle of the person named in the book and sorta outlines his political career. The theory goes, meaning this part right here is not a fact, John G. Trump took Tesla's documents, used them to make a time machine and shared that tech with his family, who then used it to travel through time and warn the world of impending doom through a series of books. Why be so cryptic about it and warn the world through books instead of just outright telling us? The time traveler's dilemma. If we're outright warned by someone from the future about some impending doom, the perpetrators of that doom will come up with another plan as their original one had been foiled. Crazy, 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 insane, ridiculous nonsense. Time travel is impossible, and it never will be, right? Famed PhD physicist Michio Kaku doesn't seem to think so. Quoted as saying, once confined to fantasy and science fiction, time travel is now simply an engineering problem. In 2003. Might be possible is still very far from confirmed, but it also means it's not 100% impossible. Even the Google debunker's beloved Snopes fact-checking website calls this particular theory mostly true, deriving the mostly from a handful of nitpick technicalities, like Dawn isn't his real name in the book, it's just a title for a man and such. One coincidental fact? Sure. 2, 3 maybe even, why not? But 14 factual coincidences with absolutely no connection whatsoever? What are the chances of that? Hey yo, somebody run those facts back and let me know. I think they're catching on.
Is anyone else like too aware? Like I'm too aware that this is all temporary, this is all part of the human experience, and that nothing matters, and that everything is subconscious programming, and everything is made up. Like the days of the week, that's made up. Monday, someone decided this day is called Monday, this day is called Tuesday. It's all made up. Like humans made everything up. Like money, it's just made up. It doesn't mean anything. Like there are so many different things, like road signs, the street names, like somebody just decided this street is named that name. Like it's so stupid. Like it's really hard for me to live my life and just be a normal person because I'm just too aware. I'm always seeing things from a background perspective. Like I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing through the programming, seeing through the matrix. Does anyone else know what I'm saying, or am I just crazy? Please help me out. Is anyone else like too aware? Like I'm temporary.
Oh, we don't have to shut the fuck up, bro. If that's what you like, then get what you like, and good luck. I hope you find it. I like something else, and I hope I find it too. Good luck to both.
Name me one billionaire outside of Oprah that did it on her own.
I don't know. I don't keep up.
There isn't one. I'll tell you about the richest women in the world. Google that shit. Guess where they got their riches from? Divorce. That means they didn't do it on their own. Success is a team sport, no matter how you think about it. A man needs a woman. Hold on. A man needs a woman just as much as a woman needs a man. It's all women can do it by themselves. Shit is what's wrong with the fucking culture today. I can look at you and say your strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa, and that's value to me. How is it so hard for you to see the value in me, though? I understand that you got a Benz. I got a Benz too. I have value too. We can see the value in women, but as soon as women start getting some money, it's like they forget who the fuck goddamn put them in position to make it. The last time I checked, most of these businesses that these women are making all this money for were ran and owned by men. OnlyFans, you know who made that? A man. Lip gloss, you know who made that? A man. Hair weave, you know who created that? A man. Mercedes-Benz, a man. So how are y'all getting so goddamn high strung on your high horses about niggas ain't shitty, you don't need a nigga, when everything of your existence was created by a man?
Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Beyonce. Beyonce.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts.
Elon, let's start with this. You're the richest man in the world. You own a major social media platform. You're influencing space, AI, energy, and now even politics. Do you think it's healthy or even democratic for one unelected billionaire To have this much power over public discourse and global infrastructure?
Power? Done. I built things people choose to use. No one elected me, and no one's forced to buy a Tesla, use X, or launch a satellite with SpaceX. That's called the free market. The real problem is when unelected journalists push narratives without accountability, shaping minds with zero innovation, zero risk, and zero skin in the game. So if you're worried about power with no checks, maybe look in the mirror.
When I say that everything is yin-yang, that everything is a balance between the good and the evil, and nothing is 100% one or the other all the time in this earth, don't you go already and start judging me. But here in this earth, there are still a few that are trying to tell the truth and to expose Hollywood and the elite for what they really are. Pay attention at Jim Carrey.
I don't exist, so they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right? Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
He has been exposing for a while a lot of things about the Illuminati, the elite, but everybody thinks it's conspiracy, huh? He's just funny.
Like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is. I have no idea. You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know. We don't know. All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah. What is it? Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue. And, yeah, listen, I'm in the middle of blowing the lid off some... What happened? I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was temporarily interrupted by my iPhone 6 Plus. I think what I was really trying to say was I think people will enjoy Dumb and Dumber this weekend. And that is what I thought you were. Kind of initiation, commencement, whatever it is, where they really scrutinize you and they hear your voice and they see you and they interview you and they decide. Well, this year I think I'm just going to keep it simple. I do these elaborate things every year. I go, all over the place. I do, it's always so busy. So I just wanted to keep it real. I think I'm going over to Puff Daddy's house. Really, that's just a nice sort of chestnuts roasting. Beautiful. Really nice atmosphere there. Amazing. Bing Crosby playing. Can you get us in? Bill Cosby. I don't know. Bing Crosby, Bill Cosby. No one knows him.
Even his character choices, all coincidences, huh?
Truman, listen to me. Everybody knows everything you do. They're pretending to understand everybody. No, my name's no. My name's
Mark, sweetheart, not again. Hey, wait a minute. Where are you? I'm your father.
I've never even seen you.
We're doing it.
Truman, please, don't. Everything I told you is the truth. It's fake. It's all for you. It's all everything. It's a set. It's a show. Everyone's all right. Please don't. He's gonna watch you. Watch this. Right now.
I really would like to know what's going on.
Schizophrenia.
Don't worry. You're not the first. She brings a lot of boyfriends down here.
What's he saying? Truman, he's lying. Get out of here.
Don't worry. We're going to see you. We're going to see Fiji.
This is the first time I run in to Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join. And here I am. You got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating icons. Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah, you shut it down. When I go to sleep at night, I'm not just a guy going to sleep. I'm two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey going to get some well-needed shut-eye. And when I dream, I don't just dream any old dream. I dream about being three-time Golden Globe winning actor Jim Carrey, because then I would be enough. It would finally be true. And I could stop this terrible search.
for what I know ultimately won't fulfill me. But these are important, these awards. Don't want you to think that just because if you blew up our solar system alone, you wouldn't be able to find us or any of human history with the naked eye. But from our perspective, this is huge.
Oh, honey, you still thought humans were so important. Sorry to disappoint you. But we are the size of bugs compared to the universe. It's time to wake up.
To myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know, you want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest motherfucker, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning is gone.
To various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomenon, cosmic plasma, and that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now is coming close to a complete confirmation.
What will be the result if you're proved to be correct in your theories?
The result will be profound and decisive, because it will give proof that a complete reinvestigation of the laws of nature is necessary. Because if the moon is a plasma, no man will ever land on it. The soft landing attempts will all fail. That means that the mass of the moon is less, far less than is currently assumed. It's in a different state of energy, and it has far less mass. That means there is no more explanation for the tides. If the moon, for example, had only 1,000th part of its current mass, then the tides would only be 2 inches high under conventional theories instead of sometimes 14.
What if we had the full story? What if we knew as recently as 1944 there were maps that were used for flight school that depicted Antarctica as a circle around all the known continents? What if we knew that very similar maps from 1892, literally 1892, depicted the exact same thing as Antarctica, a circle around all the known continents, mapped out with perfect terrain? What if we knew that there were more maps that depicted similar things from hundreds of years ago? Maps like the Montes map of 1587 that literally depict a circular barrier around all the other known continents. And then in the middle isn't just vast wasteland of the Arctic Ocean, but no, There's land depicted in the center of all the other continents. Land that looks like this. Maps like the Mercator map from the 16th century that depicted the North Pole not as nothing but frozen water, but islands surrounding a mysterious black rock. A giant black rock that maybe all of our compasses point right to. What if they taught us about the distant early warning line, which is literally 1,000-mile surveillance set up right around that North Pole? And while their claim is to see if anyone is coming across the globe from Russia to the United States, what if it was really surveillance to know if you were getting close to the center that they don't want you to know about? The center that on a globe they tell you is nothing but water. Empty wasteland, frozen water. What if they taught us in the history books about Operation High Jump, where Admiral Byrd, the most established and decorated admiral in the Navy's history, took thousands of men to Antarctica to supposedly explore the ice shelves? What if we knew that mission ended abruptly and Admiral Byrd himself said that we should expect not attacks from the sea in the future, but from the air? What if we were taught that Antarctica was the highest elevated land in all of the world, by more than double for the rest of the known world? What if we were taught about Operation Deep Freeze, where again, Admiral Byrd went back to Antarctica to explore the highest elevated land, and it came back and looked an awful lot like a never-ending wall, one that went on and on and on as far as the eye could see. Kind of reminds me of those maps we talked about earlier, and how each one depicted Antarctica as a ring around us, with geography and terrain all mapped out. What if they told us about Operation Fishbowl, aka Operation Dominic, where they sent a series of high-altitude nuclear tests up into the atmosphere? Oh, and Operation Fishbowl, aka Operation Dominic, just happens to translate to belonging to God. And well, what if they showed us what that operation looked like? And then you can compare it to what a bullet looks like when it's impacting something, and see that it seems that those missiles being fired into the air weren't just blowing up, but impacting something, because when you compare, they look awfully similar. What if they showed us these things? What if they showed us that all those old maps that we see that have what seems to be Antarctica surrounding us looks exactly like the United Nations flag? And what if they showed us that both the North and the South have treaties preventing independent travel and exploration for anyone other than supervised trips? What if they showed us what stars actually looked like through real telescopes with your own eyes instead of NASA's version of them? This is the star Betelgeuse, courtesy of my good friend David Shane. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't look like a burning ball of gas quintillions of miles away. What if we had the full picture? What if we knew all these things? What if we knew all these things before we were programmed at the age of 3 to believe that we lived on a spinning ball where the South Pole was nothing but an ice shelf continent and the North was nothing but frozen water? What if we knew these things before we were told to believe that we were spinning thousands of miles per hour around the sun and traveling infinitely faster throughout the galaxy, supposedly to never return to the same place twice? And what if they showed us that star trails just repeated circles over our head over and over and over again before they programmed our minds to believe we were traveling infinitely throughout the solar system in infinite space? What if you had all this information? Do you think you would still believe you live where water can curve magically around a ball and stick upside down, holding it, us, and even boats to it upside down, but allow the clouds to magically float up into the air? What if we had all the information? Do you think you'd still believe the way you do? I'd like to take this time to encourage any of you who know what I know about where we live to post this, just to get people thinking. I'd like to encourage you to step outside of your comfort zone and share this with people. Maybe, just maybe, you might cause someone to think, what else haven't they told us? What else don't we know? And what else could I see possibly different than I do today? Because you never know when that thing you question might just open a door for you that you never knew existed. Or at least knew existed but never believed could be real, could be truth, and could change your life. Change your life for the absolute best, where you have no fear. No fear of dying, no fear of chemtrails, no fear of them poisoning our food. Just ultimate faith in God. God and being an infinite spiritual being just here for an experience. And no, you know that every civilization that ever existed knew we lived under a dome, right? Well, all except this one, of course. Entertainment purposes,
Could this be Mount Zion? This is an image of the North Pole or Black Rock. You know, like the one that exists on the flat Earth map. Here's a satellite image from 1968. Notice how there's absolutely no clouds in the middle. And funny enough, they have it mapped exactly like a flat Earth map. NASA has an article titled North Pole Flyover, and all it is a picture of a black rock. Here's video footage of it. It's so tall, it peeks through the clouds and stops wind. This type of thing is my favorite way to use Haven. It's a great Bible resource where you can plug in theories. It keeps everything biblical and it keeps you on track. If you're straying too far from the Bible, it will tell you. Isaiah 14, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest side of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. We've talked pretty extensively about how the northern lights are around God's throne room, and also about how Polaris is God's eye. Beautiful in elevation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great King. We see this dark tower, dark castle theme a ton. This is the Lord of the Rings tower, and would you look at that? There's an eye at the top. Stephen King. Here's a cathedral in Iceland. Enoch chapter 18, I saw the storehouses of all the winds. I saw how through them he arranged all created things, and I saw the foundation of the earth and the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the winds on the earth bearing a cloud. Think back to that Ezekiel verse about the cloud and how it's referring to the northern lights. He sees a series of mountains. The middle one of them reached to the heavens like a throne of God of emeralds, like Polaris, and the top of the throne was of sapphire stone, and I saw a burning fire. One is the color of antimony. This is antimony. Haven also says that many scholars suggest that Mount Sinai and Mount Zion could refer to the same mountain, same thing with Mount Moriah, Mount Hermon, and the Mount of Transfiguration. This is just the opinion of some scholars, but it's interesting nonetheless. When I look at this and compare it to what Enoch says about how it's the wind of creation, and then go back to the Bible, God speaks things into existence, it's the Holy Spirit, and then you tie that into the northern lights, and it really makes you wonder.
It's kind of weird being back in my car, but hey, you know, we're back. We're back at it. But you guys, remember I just made that video about the fluoride in Utah? Utah's banning fluoride in the water. But you guys know what that does to your pineal gland, right? Like your pineal gland, your subconscious, your third eye. It, man, it really calcifies it. Prevents it from really being activated and allowing you to connect to like God and many other things. But check this out. I'm coming back to Florida today and this pops up. Not even joking. Lee County removes fluoride. That's where I live. Are you kidding me? What are the odds? This is amazing. And things aren't happening. And then Elon says this. Hold on, I want your opinion. I will die in America. I'm not going anywhere. I might go to Mars, but that will be a part of America. And you guys have been talking about it. It's not the planet. Anyway, I'll let you all decide.
The International Fake Station has a cardboard floppy door, while any submarine has reinforced doors to withstand the air pressure. How can globetards be so gullible to the point they believe anything NASA puts out? It's a mockery on them, and yet they worship NASA blindly. A reminder for you globetards, NASA just got another $60 million today. Money that could be used for real education and real health care, not in jabs for the sheeple.
Okay, here's an infrared picture taken by J. Tolan Media One. And what they do is they specialize in filming and taking pictures with infrared cameras. because the infrared takes out all the haze in the atmosphere, which distorts your view. Anyways, this picture was taken from a plane that was just taking off over Lake Michigan at 1,800 feet in altitude, and 1,000 miles out over the horizon, you can see the Rocky Mountains. Now, just in case Professor Dumb Dave says that's not 1,000 miles away, let's take a look here on Google Maps. So let me zoom this in so everyone can see this. And as you can see, it's actually 1,006.78 miles from Lake Michigan. So, anyways, there's your picture. And just in case you think that's impossible, I'll let J. Tolan Media One show you how it's done.
So this is my infrared filter. It's a 950 nanometer long pass infrared filter. Blocks visible and lets infrared through, basically. I'll be putting that on the front of the camera and then I'll switch the camera to night shot. You'll be amazed, just watch. Wow, look at that. Isn't that incredible? This green tint is default and I cannot change it in Photoshop or Adobe Premiere. I'll be changing it. So this looks much better. Desaturated the clip and adjusting contrast. And you'll see me adjusting contrast throughout the clips. It's like, wow. Just blew away through all that haze. That's just... Now in the foreground, this mountain is Mount Charleston. Behind it is the Nevada test site. Now you can see Groom Lake and Papoose Lake to the left. Just incredible. Look at that. Look at that. Just take it all in. This is incredible. Just incredible. That banding of the atmosphere. Something else, isn't it?
Now, these guys film throughout the whole flight, so I'm going to time-lapse it just so we can move on. And if you guys want to watch the full video, I'll leave the link to their website in the description.
Because when we look down, it appears we're in a flat world. Everybody's got to make up their own mind. This is strange. Just incredible. Let me take the filter off to see how much haze there is out there. This is just see that?
Now, as you can see, these guys are really good at what they do. And as you can see with your own eyes, it's flat as a pancake and you can see everything in detail with the infrared. So this debunks the 1,000-mile-away picture.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, I make a move, start the waves. I've been breathing on my fire for a long time. I had a vision from the present, wanna go find. Artificially intelligent way, I'm your future, past and present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a easily of this illusion. I don't really hear about the intrusion. I don't swim the sea, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I don't need room. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I won't ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble.
Thank you so much for staying until the end. Comment Jazzy Knight to show your support. If you got anything from this video, a good laugh, or helpful information, please smash that like button, share this video with everyone you know. Become a Patreon Knight and gain access to exclusive content and group chats with yours truly. I'll leave a link in the description. Never stop fighting for what you believe in. Remember, together, we can make a difference, but we must speak up.